Kirsten. Thank you for your Good afternoon. Could you please stand and join the brass choir in singing America the Beautiful? You may be seated. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dave Frohnmeyer. It is my privilege to serve as president of the University of Oregon and to welcome you here to the University of Oregon and this glorious day, really out of central casting, for our Commencement 2008. Many of you have noticed over the course of the past several months, how could you not, that it is an election year this year. It's a year of decisions and of actions that will shape our nation and the world for years to come. But as important as this election is, and any election is, I can state with confidence that what is happening at this time of year on college and university campuses across this country is just as important. Young men and women who already have made important decisions to engage in the process of learning are completing one part of that process. This is what we celebrate today. We celebrate personal accomplishment, sometimes of heroic proportions, against seemingly insurmountable obstacles. We celebrate the support of family and friends, support that has oftentimes made all the difference. We celebrate hard work that has opened minds to the joy of learning and anticipation of where learning can lead. But we also celebrate how much each of you has met and understood the conundrum of calculus, or become versed in the soliloquies of Shakespeare, or who have created a business plan for not only for your own future, but you've done it also for the lives of people whom you do not yet even know. Yes, this election year is important, maybe even vitally so, but a new president will not discover new methods of fighting debilitating and disabling deadly diseases, will not write a novel that will open young minds, will not invent new energy sources that save our lands and skies, or deliver any of the other accomplishments that stand before us here today and across the nation in caps and gowns. Even a new president will not offer to friends, family, and community that special gift that only you, our graduates, can offer. So many promises will be made in this election year, but take a good look at the persons around you. The promises you see here in your loved ones and your friends who are graduating and in their futures outweigh any promises made by politicians, if only for the reason that you know that these are promises that will be kept. Congratulations to each one of you. Before we continue, I want to highlight some changes that have taken place since the printing of the commencement programs. Linda Brady is mentioned throughout the program as Senior Vice President and Provost. She has served us with distinction, but just this week has been chosen to become Chancellor of the Greensboro campus of the University of North Carolina. I've appointed James Bean, who has been Dean of the Lundquist College, to be Senior Vice President and Provost for the next 2 years, and he will be presiding in this new role during today's ceremony. And now to bring greetings and a message today from the Oregon State Board of Higher Education is one of its members, Paul Kelly, a distinguished attorney and public citizen. Paul.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak to our fine graduates today. President Frohnmeyer, distinguished honorees and guests, members of the faculty, graduates, parents, families, and friends, I'm pleased to bring you greetings and congratulations on behalf of the Oregon State Board of Higher Education. It's an honor to celebrate this commencement with you, the class of 2008. I know you are going to hear some inspirational speeches today, urging you to go forth and excel in everything you do, and wishing you good fortune. My remarks, however, will be brief and just ask one thing of you. Remember us. By us, I mean, of course, this Eugene community, which has supported many of you for 4 years, or 5, or 6, or whatever the case may be, during your time here at the University of Oregon. But more importantly, I mean the communities throughout Oregon, and for some of you, Washington, California, and some other states, and even foreign countries that you call home and which have nurtured you throughout these early years of your lives. Remember us as you look in the mirror each morning and see the values and the intellect that this institution, this region, and your communities have helped to instill in you. Remember us as you determine your career path and how you can contribute to your own future and the future of others in your family and your community. Remember us as you complete or repeat the rites of passage that are part of our adult reality, like landing a job, finally paying off your student loans, paying your tax bill, wondering how you'll pay your own kids' college education, and stewing about whether Social Security will really still be around when you need it. Remember us. Why? Because you have been the recipient of the goodwill of others, parents, teachers and professors, friends, mentors, siblings, and other family members, recipients of their time, their guidance and support, their intellect, their money, and their love and patience so that you could be among those who actually achieve the lofty goal of their university graduation. To remember us means remembering where you come from and understanding the responsibility to give back to your families and communities, and to those other special people and institutions that have made a positive, transformational impact on your life. To paraphrase what Uncle Sam once famously said to another generation of young Americans under very different circumstances, we need you. I know that not all of you will stay in Oregon to live and work, but for those of you who will, your civic contributions to this state are what will take us into a brighter future. Absent your good works, Oregon will slip to something less than what you knew and loved about being here. There is no they when it comes to pointing a finger and saying they need to improve the way things are in Oregon. We are they. Oregon is us. Each and every one of us, if we want Oregon to be better, this community to be better able to support us, then each of us has the responsibility to do what we want to make it that way. Rather than pointing fingers, point your intellect, your passion, your skills, and expertise at Target Oregon and make your mark. We need you, and we're counting on you. And for those of you returning home or moving to communities beyond Oregon's beautiful borders, I say the same. Your communities, wherever they may be, need you. So remember us as we will remember you on this day, going proudly forward to make our state and our world a little better than it was before you graced this fond place, your University of Oregon. And as a final thought, I'll close with this quote from author Joy Mills. There are two kinds of people in the world, the givers and takers. The difference between the two is that the takers eat well and the givers sleep well at night. So congratulations, class of 2008, and good luck to each of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular part of our commencement program recognizes family, alumni, and citizens of our broader community whose contributions are deserving at this commencement time of special university recognition. The individuals receiving these honors were awarded specific recognition of their accomplishments in a separate ceremony earlier today. Your commencement program contains more detailed information outlining their collective contributions and accomplishments, and I do ask that you read it at your convenience and salute the many distinctive contributions they have made. The first of these honors is the Presidential Medal, established in 1991 to honor individuals who have demonstrated extraordinary service to the university and whose professional and personal leadership in the world community places them among the nation's foremost citizens. This year's Presidential Medal recipients are Marilyn and Calvin Smith, who are unable to be with us today, but to whom I presented this medal a few weeks ago in Seattle, and now Dodie Dornsife Jernstedt. Could you stand and be recognized for your extraordinary contributions as a presidential medalist? The Distinguished Service Awards. For 48 years, the faculty of the University of Oregon has been recognizing those who, according to the faculty legislation, and I quote it, by their knowledge and skills have made a significant contribution to the cultural development of Oregon or to society as a whole, by conferring upon these distinguished people the Distinguished Service Award. This is our faculty's highest honor. This year, the university honors 3 remarkable individuals, each of whom has made significant contributions to human understanding, to the democratic process, and the arts. They are, respectively, former Governor John Kitzhaber, who could not join us today, James Warsaw, and Virginia Beavard. Would James and Virginia please stand and be recognized and further honored? This year's Distinguished Alumnus Award recipient is Dan Wyden, who joined us earlier today. This year's recipient of the Outstanding Young Alumnus Award is Coos Bay native and Tony Award winner Jeffrey Whitty. Jeffrey could not join us because of competing obligations, but he sent his fondest regards, and we are proud of his great distinction at this early age. At this time, I would like to introduce Tim Clevenger of the University of Oregon Alumni Association Board of Directors, who brings greetings on behalf of the University of Oregon Alumni Association for for which each of our graduates is presently eligible as of this hour. Mr. Clevenger.
Good afternoon. Today, as a proud alumnus, past president of the University of Oregon Alumni Association, and on behalf of the over 155,000 Oregon alums, welcome to the class of 2008. Sharing anything in 3 minutes is difficult, and sharing anything to a crowd of people, of some strangers, especially a lot of you who probably just want to get to Rennie's, is even more difficult. And honestly, it feels like just yesterday, though I have to confess it was about 25 years ago, that I was sitting where you are, probably wondering how long is this guy going to keep going on. And I guess if I were to remind you of anything, that would be the first thing, is that time is relentlessly fast. You've got to seize life. You need to live it fully. Don't regret anything, because soon, 25 years will be over for you. It may be your turn up here to take your 3 minutes and try to share something. Use your time wisely and invest it carefully. So here are a few investment tips for you. If you want something, work hard to get it, and I would encourage you to work even harder to keep it. That's how I met my wife here at the University of Oregon. Always tell the truth. You've worked hard and you've earned this education, so use it. Use it wisely. Think for yourself, think critically, and put that education to work. Forgive. Be thankful. Remember those professors who rode you hard, made your life difficult over these past few years. Not that any of you ever had any difficult professors, but in remembering them, because this means that they clearly saw potential in you. They cared enough to push you. Have fun. I'm an advertising major, so you have to have fun. Dream big. And finally, as my time's running out, nurture the relationships you've developed here at the University of Oregon. It's truly, at the end of the day, what education and ultimately what life is all about. You take knowledge, wisdom, and relationships along with you during this journey of life. And now, as part of the University of Oregon alumni family, you're connected to hundreds of thousands of individuals who are literally changing the world. So, and here's my plug. You're eligible, so become a member of the University of Oregon Alumni Association, because the relationships you've created here can be further nurtured and maintained through the Alumni Association. Whether it's finding an Oregon alumni chapter in the town or the city that you go home to, a football pregame party that you attend, or visiting the alumni website, uoalumni.com. You got to bookmark that. Whatever option you choose, keep in touch with your fellow Ducks. Find the Ducks wherever you go and stay connected, and use those connections to change the world. And as you can see, that's my 3 minutes, and I told you time is relentlessly fast, so use your time wisely. Congratulations to the entire class of 2008 on behalf of the University of Oregon Alumni Association.
I would now like to recognize Senior Vice President and Provost James Bean as we continue recognizing award recipients. Dr. Bean.
Excellent teaching is the foundation upon which great universities are built. And the University of Oregon, we place particularly high value on excellent pedagogy. The Thomas F. Herman Distinguished Teaching Award honors senior faculty members whose careers are marked by excellent teaching. Emblematic of the priority the institution places on teaching, the winner of the Herman Award is appointed University Marshal and serves as the ceremonial leader and protector of the faculty. Your marshals for this ceremony are Peter Mills and Dennis Galvan. Peter Mills and Dennis Galvan, please stand and be recognized. The Ersted Teaching Award. For over 40 years, the faculty of the university has recognized the outstanding teaching of its younger faculty members through the selection of recipients for the Ersted Award. These generous awards were established by Mr. A.J. Ersted to honor teaching achievement within the university. Nominations for the awards are received from both students and faculty. The recipients are then selected by a student-faculty committee. They thus represent the excellence of teaching, which is the hallmark of the university. This year's recipient is Susan Dawson-Verschure. Please stand. The Wayne T. Westling Award. This award, established by the University Senate, is named in honor of Wayne T. Westling, Professor of Law at the University of Oregon from 1979 to 2001. The two specific criteria for the award are: 1, exemplary service over a period of years, and 2, inspired leadership and commitment to the principles of faculty governance and fostering inclusiveness and respect. This year's recipient is James Reinmuth. Please stand. The Charles E. Johnson Memorial Award was created by the UO faculty to honor the memory of Charles E. Johnson, Professor of Accounting, Dean of Liberal Arts, and Acting President, whose UO career spanned the years 1952 to 1969. The award recognizes the unique qualities that served Johnson well during his acting presidency in the often turbulent 1960s. Johnson's legacy to the university is one marked by outstanding contributions as a scholar and teacher, as well as an outspoken academic leader. Joe Stone is the honoree this year and could not join us, but please recognize Joe's award. The University of Oregon Stein Graduate Teaching Award. This award, funded by Donald and Daryl Stein and administered by the Graduate School, is designed to recognize outstanding teaching performances by experienced graduate teaching fellows who have demonstrated a commitment to developing the instructional skills while at the same time excelling in their academic degree program. This year's recipients are Samuel Holloway, who could not be with us today, and Carrie Walters. Please stand to be recognized. The Doctoral Research Fellowship Program is a collaborative program of the Graduate School and the Office of the Vice President for Research, and is designed to promote excellence in research at the University of Oregon. The fellows are available to eligible doctoral degree candidates in all academic disciplines in their final year at U of O. Each department nominates one candidate for the fellowship, and a subcommittee of the UO Graduate Council evaluates the applications. In consultation with the Vice President for Research and the Dean of the Graduate School, since the UO began the program in 1991, 1 to 6 UO doctoral degree candidates have received the Doctoral Research Awards each year. Joshua Fisher, Jennifer Marlin, and Aaron Rokita could not be with us today, but we congratulate them for this award.
Just a few years ago, it seems, I had a very bright hardworking young woman in my freshman seminar on theories of leadership. Her name is Emily McLean. I knew then she was going to be marked for distinction, and she clearly has exhibited that distinction each of her years here at the University of Oregon. So it gives me great pleasure and special pleasure to introduce to you Emily McLean, President of the Associated Students of the University of Oregon, to bring greetings. Emily.
Good afternoon. To the family, friends, guests, esteemed faculty, administrators, and most of all, the family who doesn't want to be here. And you're already wondering, when exactly is dinner? I have to say welcome, and don't worry, we'll make it through this together. And to the graduates, congratulations. It is a true honor to be able to speak to you today. The University of Oregon has become a place I care deeply about, and a place where we have all had a unique and shared experience, whether we realize it now or not. From the fall street fair, where we braved the inevitable rain to wait in line for that pad thai, to simply picking up the Oregon Daily Emerald every day. From a cappella in the amphitheater on Fridays, to humbling displays in the lawns that remind us of life happening outside these grounds. From the walk over the bridge to Autzen, to Frog standing on the street corner selling his joke books. From endless opportunities to listen to presidential candidates, to that damn bell striking 12 again and playing that fight song I never quite learned the words to. We have all had a number of shared experiences here and have all come to appreciate them, I'm sure. I'm sure that many of the varied experiences, personalities, and activities here at the U of O that are so unique and special to this particular place are also something we'll look back on very fondly. A lot of people might think that the University of Oregon is just another one of those big schools, big state schools, and in numbers they might be right. But the University of Oregon is absolutely unique and special place that I feel honored to have shared with all of you. And one of the things that I think is most special about it is that it's truly a small community. This is one of the few places that I feel I can meet a new person every day, while at the same time not being able to go anywhere without seeing someone I know. It's this community that I believe has probably enabled all of us to have such rich experiences here during this time. And I'm quite sure that it's something that isn't terribly common and something we'll look back on. We all gather today to celebrate the wonderful education we've received at this university, to celebrate our accomplishments as we all leave. That education has been both in and outside of the classroom for all of us. For me, like many of you, I imagine the educators and the education came from your peers, your friends, and the outside Eugene community. This community brought out in me an even more political nature and penchant for involvement that I never knew before. And I have to admit that in many ways, I learned more in my outside of the classroom experiences than in. Now we're all headed to a life of outside of the classroom experiences. Here at the University of Oregon, the opportunity to be involved comes easily. A chance to make positive change is often just handed to you. Service and volunteerism are common and not difficult to come by. Away from this place, though, you have to seek out those opportunities amidst many distractions. But if I have learned anything from my involvement here at the U of O, it's that direct action and service are much more rewarding than an A or finishing that paper. And I believe it's that same sensibility that we should all take with us as we graduate today. We are the graduates of 2008. This is an absolutely historical year in the United States. Right now, young people will help to determine the direction of the elections in an absolutely unprecedented way. Now, I'm not going to stand up here and praise a particular senator from Illinois, though I do like him quite a bit. But what I have to say is that regardless of what you believe in, what candidate you support, I hope that you will simply go out and put something into that and put some time into it. As students and now former students, we don't necessarily have a lot of money, but we have a lot of us. And if we commit that time and energy together that we do have to the causes that we believe in, we will have a significant impact on the direction of this country. I've seen directly how effective young people, particularly from this University of Oregon, volunteering and acting together can make a big difference. In 2006, I ran the voter registration drive here at the University of Oregon and had the opportunity to work probably with a lot of you and all of your friends around campus. We registered almost 7,000 folks to vote and ran the largest voter registration drive in a midterm election the U of O has ever seen. It was exciting. But what was more exciting, though, was the activity and the respect we garnered afterward in the state legislature. I don't think it was a coincidence then that we have gained the largest reinvestment in higher education in over a decade, when students were the ones that stepped up. I can attest to what people, yeah, we'll go with that. It was a good investment. But I can attest to what people committing their time towards service, towards something they believe in, can accomplish. Now I know I've gone on for too long for those of you that are like me and ready to go to lunch or dinner soon, so I'll wrap it up. The University of Oregon has provided us with a number of shared experiences and opportunities that have set us up to make positive change in our communities. And after the party, and I know that it'll be difficult after this, I'm going to ask you to do one thing, and that's to join in with me and all of our peers graduating today in not just believing in something, but rather acting to make real change through service. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the class of 2008.
Thank you very much, Emily McLean, for those words of wisdom and inspiration. It is our custom to look to our own faculty for commencement speakers on each of these spring occasions. And this year we have yet another outstanding teacher and scholar as our commencement speaker, Dr. Ronald Mitchell. He's the winner of a coveted award from the Fund for Faculty Excellence. He's a professor in the Department of Political Science here at the university. He received his doctoral degree in public policy from Harvard University and joined this university's faculty in 1993. His book, Intentional Oil Pollution at Sea, Environmental Policy and Treaty Compliance, won the 1995 Sprout Award from the International Studies Association for the best book on international environmental issues. He's co-editor of a 2006 volume with the MIT Press entitled Global Environmental Assessments, Information and Influence, which examines the conditions under which environmental science influences international policymaking. He's currently conducting research on two major projects. The first of them involves the development of a database of all multilateral environmental treaties, their performance indicators, and their application of quantitative methods to examine the effects of these treaties on the behavior of states and non-state actors. The second of his major projects seeks to help new scientists working on climate change to develop their interdisciplinary skills to improve understanding of and the ability to help to solve the problem of climate change. He's advised Oregon Governor Ted Kulongoski on environmental matters. He teaches courses with outstanding reviews on international relations, international environmental policies, and international organization. It is for his informed and well-recognized expertise on international approaches to a problem that will profoundly affect each one of us, as well as his passion for cooperative solutions to these problems, that we selected him as our commencement speaker for this year. It's my honor to present to you, and please welcome Dr. Ronald Mitchell.
Thank you very much, and thank you, President Frohnmayer, for inviting me to give this speech today. I'm very and deeply honored. I want to begin by congratulating the graduates of the class of 2008. Congratulations to all of you. You have accomplished so much by graduating from the U of O and in what you've done in the last 4 years. Many of you are the first in your family to do so. A lot of you did it in a foreign country and in a second language. Some of you did it while holding down a full-time job. Others of you did it while raising a child. And all of you have so much to be proud of. For most graduates, commencement is a time of big questions. Questions like, what will I do with my life? Should I go to graduate school? Go to law school, get a job? Questions like, what jobs am I qualified for? And more importantly, what kind of job do I want? Questions like, can I afford to travel before I get a job? Should I live in Eugene, move back to my hometown, or move to New York, or maybe Buenos Aires? Questions like, how can I make a difference in the world? I want to talk about the last of these questions. How can I make a difference in the world? The University of Oregon's motto addresses this very question. The university seal shows Mount Hood, surrounded by the Latin phrase mens agitat molem, literally minds move matter, but usually interpreted as minds move mountains. That motto reminds us that knowledge is powerful. Powerful enough to move the largest mountains, powerful enough to solve the most challenging problems. Indeed, while preparing this speech, I discovered that 4 years ago, some of you answered a very fitting admissions question. What mountains do you want to move, and how will you use your University of Oregon education to do so? I want to ask all of you to think about that question again today. The first part of that question is, what mountains do you want to move? Or, in today's vernacular, what's your problem? So what is your problem? I mean that seriously. It's an overused phrase that I would like to rehabilitate. What's your biggest problem with the world today? Take a moment to think about it. What's your biggest problem? Okay, got it? Let me guess. The war in Iraq, the genocide in Darfur, the 30 or more other wars going on in the world right now, the world food shortage, the 25,000 people who die of AIDS, diarrhea, tuberculosis, and malaria every single day, climate change, the world's dying oceans, poverty, homelessness, the abuse of women, children, and the elderly, racism and sexism. I'm sure we do not all agree on which of these problems is most important. But the cool thing is, there's no reason we have to try to agree. All of these problems, and far too many others, are worthy problems. In today's globalized world, John F. Kennedy might have asked, citizens of the world, ask not what the world can do for you, ask what you can do for the world. So I don't know what your problem is, but you need one. The world needs you, each and every single one of you, to find a problem and to start working to fix it. Now let's go back to that admissions question I mentioned earlier. The second part of that question asks, how will you use your education to the mountains you want to move? Or again, in today's vernacular, what you going to do about it? Your time at the U of O has, I'm sure, deepened your understanding of just how many big problems the world faces. For most people, those problems are too big, too overwhelming, too depressing. As the comedian Paula Poundstone has said, what moron said that knowledge is power? Knowledge is power only if it doesn't depress you so much that it leaves you in an immobile heap at the end of your bed. But the university's motto calls on us and calls on all of you to resist that temptation to stay in bed in the morning. It calls on you to get out of bed believing that knowledge is power. Indeed, it calls on you to act as if knowledge is power and thereby to make it true. Some of you are already doing that. Let me give you an example. If you ask me what my problem is, it's climate change. Scientists predict that climate change will raise sea levels, melt glaciers, push species to extinction, dramatically affect agriculture, and change rainfall patterns. Climate change is an impossibly large, impossibly complex, impossibly depressing problem. Yet right on this campus, we have students and faculty working to address the problem. Let me tell you about just one of them. Takia Ahmed, a truly inspiring graduate student in chemistry. Takia has developed new processes for producing a chemical used in everything from paint to plexiglass to Pampers. Her techniques eliminate the toxic byproducts produced by existing processes and thereby eliminates the need to burn millions of barrels of oil to make those toxic byproducts safe. Takia, while still in graduate school, has worked closely with industry to get her techniques adopted, and those techniques will make a major contribution to combating climate change. I know that many of the other graduates in the audience are making, indeed already have made, similar contributions to the problems they care about. Knowledge really can move mountains. But I want to remind you that the university motto is not mind moves mountains, but minds move mountains. We can't move a mountain by ourselves. We have to collaborate. We have to work in groups, and I want to suggest those groups work best when they are interdisciplinary. Think about how much progress you could make on a problem important to you working on it by yourself. Now, think about the progress you could make working with everyone at the graduation ceremony for your department or your program. People have been trained in the same discipline and the same ways of thinking as you. Now, finally, think about the progress you can make working on the problem that's important to you with everyone at this ceremony right here, right now. People have been trained in disciplines and ways of thinking that are quite different from your own. Think about the depth of knowledge, the diversity of intellectual skills and training, and the range of perspectives in this room. Imagine the progress you could make working on the problem you care about with these people right here. Getting different people to work on a common problem generates new, vibrant, organic, and really surprising ideas. Ideas far better than any individual could come up with on their own. The complex nature of important social problems requires interdisciplinary groups. Interdisciplinarity is the idea that no matter what your problem, no matter what your degree, no matter what job you take, you can always understand and solve a problem better, more completely and faster by collaborating with people with different backgrounds who have had different training and who have different viewpoints than you. Interdisciplinarity involves true collaboration. You start out working with people who see the problem differently than you do and think about solving it in different ways than you do. But by working together, you solve that shared problem. Usually when we take on big, hard problems, we do not seek out people who think differently from ourselves. But we need to. We need to seek out people who see the world differently, who may disagree with us, who will challenge us and will let us challenge them, but who will work with us to solve that common problem. We cannot move the biggest mountains alone. What would you think if I organized a group of 3,000 people, included atmospheric chemists, archaeologists, biologists, economists, political scientists, lawyers, included people from over 130 countries, included Asians, Africans, Hispanics, and Caucasians, included Muslims, Jews, Christians, Buddhists, and atheists, included Republicans, Democrats, communists, socialists, and others from political parties you've never even heard of. It's hard to imagine that such a group could agree on what to have for lunch. But this describes the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, an international organization of experts who, by working together for the past 20 years, despite their differences, won the Nobel Peace Prize for creating an understanding of the climate change problem, as well as responses to it that are light years ahead of what any smaller group of them, let alone any one of them working alone, could have come up with. Interdisciplinarity has been critical to the progress that our world has made in understanding and addressing climate change, and it will be critical to our future progress on climate change. People trained in the natural sciences, like chemistry, biology, physics, math, geology, computer science, help us understand how human behaviors are causing climate change and affecting the Earth. People trained in the social sciences, like economics, psychology, geography, political science, public policy, help us design the strategies we need to address this problem. People trained in the arts and humanities, like philosophy, history, literature, music, dance. They help give meaning to our lives and encourage us to re-examine our ethics, to re-examine our place in the natural world, and to imagine the future we may face if we do not address the problem, and the future we can achieve if we do. People trained in professional schools, like architecture, business, journalism, education, law. They help transform our buildings, our companies, our media, our schools, and our government from being causes of the climate change problem to being solutions to it. And people trained in our interdisciplinary programs, like international studies, ethnic studies, women's and gender studies, environmental studies, help show us how to surmount the disciplinary boundaries that get in the way as we try to work on the many complex interdisciplinary problems that the world faces. Luckily, people with all those skills are sitting here today. And the skills that all of you have worked so hard to develop can solve so many problems. I've talked about climate change because that's what I know about and that's what I care about. But the message I want to leave you with today is not about the importance of climate change. It's about the importance and value of interdisciplinarity. It's about the fact that whatever problems you care about, whatever problems you devote your life to, you will solve them more successfully if you work with those trained to think differently than you. Working with others, you can move the mountains of war, genocide, and violence. You can move the mountains of poverty, homelessness, disease, and starvation. You can move the mountains of racism and sexism. You can move the mountains of the abuse of children, women, and the elderly. Working with others, you can move any mountain you want to move. Congratulations, graduates. As you commence the next chapter of your lives, let your minds move mountains.
Thank you very much, Ron, for those good words of counsel, so well argued, so well presented. At this time, I'd like to introduce those who are a part of the platform party but who will not be speaking. Would you please stand and be recognized as you are introduced? We have with us today Alan Price, Vice President for University Advancement. Robin Holmes, Vice President for Student Affairs. Richard Linton, Vice President for Research and Graduate Studies. Francis Dyke, Vice President for Finance and Administration. Charles Martinez, Vice Provost for Institutional Equity and Diversity. Karen Sprague, Vice Provost for Undergraduate Studies. Russ Tomlin, Senior Vice Provost for Academic Affairs. Dean Deborah Carver, University Librarian. Professor Gordon Sayer, President, University Senate. You may have noted that our commencement program has fallen carefully into parts. We now come to the final part, which is the official process of conferring degrees. First, the doctoral candidates will be presented and the degrees awarded. They will then be asked to come forward to receive their hoods, the symbol of their high achievement, be recognized individually, and receive their diploma covers. Then the degrees will be conferred on master and bachelor candidates who will be recognized individually at the separate college and departmental ceremonies. Senior Vice President and Provost James Bean will begin the conferral of degrees.
Will all candidates for doctoral degrees please rise and remain standing? Mr. President, the qualified students listed in the doctoral degree sections of the program are now presented to receive the appropriate degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the authority of the Oregon University system, I'm pleased to confer upon you, the members of this June graduating class, the respective doctoral degrees which you have earned at the University of Oregon. Congratulations.
All doctors accompanied by their advisors, please come forward to be recognized.
Our first doctoral degree recipient is Timothy Farr Peeler. Advisor is Tom Deshawn, Psychology. Mia Yao Su Yi, Advisor Thomas Deshawn, Psychology. Veronica Beth Perez, Advisor Edward Vogel, Psychology. Jennifer R. Tinanenko, Advisor Jeffrey Mazel, Psychology. Cindy Sinju Leo, Advisor Jeffrey Mazel, Psychology. Megan Elizabeth McDade Beers, Advisor Jennifer Abloh, Psychology. Eric Lee Olafson, Advisor Dare Baldwin, Psychology. David Scott Miller, Advisor Linda Forrest, Counseling Psychology. Mirsad Serderwich, Advisor Krista Chronister, Counseling Psychology. Christiane Blanco Euler, Advisor Krista Chronister, Counseling Psychology. Timothy E. Halverson, Advisor Anthony Hornoff, major is Computer and Information Science. Eric David Wills, Advisor Kent Stevens, Computer and Information Science. Zabin Chen, Advisor Stephen Fickus, Computer and Information Science. Sean Michelle Arellano, Advisor Craig Young, Biology. Corey Michael Johnson, Advisor Alex Murphy, Geography. Blake McGee, Advisor Wayne Bennett, Music Performance. Mio Aoke, Advisor Alex Dosan, Music Performance. Kayleen Stanchev Kirilov, Advisor Jack Boss, Music Theory. Jason G. Breton, Advisor Jack Boss, Music Theory. Lee Poo, Advisor Janet Wasco, Communication and Society. Eric Arthur Palmer, Advisor Julianne Newton, Communication and Society. Hillary Ann Lake, Advisor Julianne Newton, Communication and Society. Peter Stephen Wallen, Advisor David Bush, Marketing. Charlotte Yvonne Alverson, Advisor Mike Bullis, Special Education. Matthew Lynn Strausser, Advisor Harry Price, Music Education. Rachel Ann Carnaccio, Advisor Harry Price, Music Education. Betty Atchison Allison Mann, Advisor Harry Price, Music Education. Consuelo Yvonne Curtis, Advisor Gerald Tyndall, Educational Leadership. Matthew Edward Coleman, Advisor Gerald Tyndall, Educational Leadership. Brian David Gander, Advisor Gerald Tyndall, Educational Leadership. Saraj Gupta, Advisor Kathleen Solis, Educational Leadership. Rohana Shepard Buchanan, Advisor Kenneth Merrill, School Psychology. Louise Jane Brunau, Advisor Robert Horner, Kenneth Merrill, School Psychology. Ann Kristen Trost. Advisor Diane Dunlap, Educational Leadership. Kathleen Elizabeth Ludwig, Advisor Diane Dunlap, Educational Leadership. Christine M. Taylor, Advisor Diane Dunlap, Educational Leadership. Sean J. Davitt, Advisor Diane Dunlap, Educational Leadership. Carlton Renard Mead, Advisor Diane Dunlap, Educational Leadership. Hong Mai Yu, Comparative Literature, Advisor Si Lang Sing. Let's have a great round of applause for all of our doctoral degree recipients. Go Docs!
Will all the master's candidates in the following schools and colleges please rise and remain standing? School of Music and Dance. School of Journalism and Communication. College of Education. Charles H. Lundquist College of Business. Please remain standing. School of Architecture and Allied Arts. The College of Arts and Sciences. Mr. President, the qualified students listed in the several master's degree sections of the program are now presented to receive the appropriate degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the authority of the Oregon University System, I'm pleased to confer upon you, the members of this June graduating class, the respective master's degrees which you have earned at the University of Oregon. Congratulations, and you may be seated. Once again, I would like to ask Senior Vice President Bean to come forward for the bachelor's degrees.
The program today lists those students who have completed their requirements as of December 2007 and March 2008, as well as those who are candidates for degree conferral today. It is understood that the appropriate degrees are awarded to those candidates who have successfully completed all requirements by the end of spring term. The deans will present the candidates from each academic division. First, we call your special attention to page 21 of your program, which lists those candidates who have fulfilled the supplementary requirements of the Honors College in addition to those of their major department or school. David Frank, Dean of the Honors College.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree in the Honors College please rise and remain standing until the degrees have been conferred? Mr. President, the qualified student listed in this section of the program is now presented to receive the appropriate degree.
Brad Foley, Dean of the School of Music and Dance.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degrees from the School of Music and Dance please rise and remain standing until the degrees have been conferred? President Frohnmeyer, on behalf of my distinguished colleagues from the only comprehensive School of Music and Dance in Oregon and the largest and greatest in the Pacific Northwest, I am proud to present the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees in music and dance. May their talents and creativity bring beauty and peace to the world. Thank you.
Michael Bullis, Dean of the College of Education.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree in the College of Education please rise and remain standing until the degrees have been conferred? Mr. President, the qualified students listed in this section of the program are now presented to receive the appropriate degrees.
Tim Gleason, Dean of the School of Journalism and Communication.
Will the candidates for bachelor's degrees in the School of Journalism and Communication, the oldest and best journalism school in the West, please rise and remain standing until the degrees have been conferred? Mr. President, the outstanding students listed in this section of the program stand ready to be creative and ethical leaders in the radically changing journalism and communication landscape of the 21st century and in their communities. They are now presented to receive the appropriate degrees.
Francis Bronett, Dean of the School of Architecture and Allied Arts.
Will the candidates for bachelor's degrees in the School of Architecture and Allied Arts please rise and remain standing until the degrees have been conferred? President Frohnmeyer, these extraordinary students, leaders in transforming the environment, creating cultural capital, and seeding beautiful and healthy cities, are now presented to receive their appropriate degrees.
Ray King, Senior Associate Dean of the Charles H. Lundquist College of Business.
Will the candidates for bachelor's degrees at the Charles H. Lundquist College of Business please rise and remain standing until the degrees are awarded? Mr. President, the qualified students listed in this section of the program are presented to receive the appropriate degrees.
Priscilla Southwell, Associate Dean, College of Arts and Sciences.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences please rise and remain standing until the degrees are conferred? President Frohnmeyer, the very numerous and very accomplished candidates are now presented for their degree. Go vote.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty, and with the authority of the Oregon University system, I am pleased to confer upon you, the members of this June graduating class, the respective baccalaureate degrees which you have earned at the University of Oregon. Congratulations. Graduates, if you have not yet done so, you may move the tassel from the right to the left on your regalia. I now invite all of you graduates to join me in a salute of thanks to your families and friends who, by their contributions, have helped to make this a very special day for you and for all of us. Please turn around and offer them a round of applause. Now, would everyone else please rise for the Oregon Pledge Song? It will be sung today by Kirsten Arbogast. The words to the pledge song, in the very unlikely event that you have forgotten them, are on the back cover of the program, and we invite you to join in the singing. The Oregon Pledge Song. Thank you very much, Kirsten. You may be seated. In an attempt to make these exercises more personal for the undergraduates, we have planned individual college, school, and department ceremonies, some of which already have been concluded by this ceremony. The remaining ones will be at various locations beginning approximately 1 hour from now. And we do ask, ladies and gentlemen, that the audience remain seated while the recessional takes place. You'll be able to meet your graduates outside the court, across the street on the lawn at the Herb Memorial Union. I would like personally to thank the graduates who carried their respective colleges of arts and sciences departmental signs today. And it is important to remind everyone that the Lundquist College of Business will be holding its ceremony here in this court as soon as possible. For that reason, we do ask that you exit the court promptly and meet outside across the street on the lawn at the Herb Memorial Union. Our University Marshal today is our award-winning professor, Marshal Dennis Galvin. He will begin the recessional by leading the platform party out of the court. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on this glorious spring day. Congratulations to all of you graduates.